Welcome to the Pacho Perspective, a place where I share my perspective on everything in the space between life and death. I'm your host, Pacho. Well, today, my Pachos Chachos, we are going to break down the very famous, very viral song from Oliver Anthony titled Men North of Richmond. Now, first of all, let me get it out in the open. I admire this person. I respect his opinion. I respect any person who reads the Bible and is well versed in it. I respect all veterans. We have certainly a debt to pay back to you. And so before I get into this, let me just make that clear that I am in no way trying to insult or humiliate or degrade in any way Mr. Oliver Anthony. However, in this episode, I am going to explain why I think Oliver is wrong. Wrong in regards to the song not being political, and wrong in regards to his reaction to conservatives, specifically, who have tried to reach out to him to build a bridge of sorts. And, you know, he also threw the primary, the GOP primary candidates under the bus as well. And I don't agree with any of that. And I'm going to break down the song and explain it to you. And if he's listening, Mr. Anthony, hopefully you'll realize too that subconsciously this is political. You may not have meant it to be like that. It may have just been a way for you to express your emotions and your frustration, which I totally understand. Veterans in our country, as I've made several episodes about, are definitely taken for granted and not shown the due appreciation that we should for all the sacrifices that they make physically as well as mentally and possibly emotionally and spiritually as well. And so there it is. Okay, so I like the song. I love the song. I love the twanginess of it. I love the guitar that he uses. I love his voice. Very, just it's awesome. Okay, I enjoy it. It's on my playlist on Spotify. And but there are some things that I think we need to visit. So first of all, the title, Rich Men North of Richmond, we know that's talking about the politicians in Washington, D.C., right? Richmond, Virginia, north of Richmond, Virginia is Washington, D.C. So we're talking about politicians. And if you're going to talk about politicians, it's political, okay? Whether you like it or not, whether you meant for it or not, it's political. And to say that Joe Biden has nothing to do with it is a bunch of malarkey, I'm sorry, because he is the reason why you're so frustrated in the song. So let's get to it. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours, for bullshit pay. Well, who do you think has devalued our money more than anyone else in the last 40 years? Joe Biden. Okay, I know you're not 40, I'm 45. So inflation, this is the highest in your life, Oliver Anthony. Our money is more worthless now. Your pay is bullshit, as you say, because this feckless houseplant of a president has been spending so much money. All right. And talk about a guy who said no taxes, but inflation is an invisible tax created only by government. We did not have this inflation with Donald Trump. We had the best rates of inflation, or at least the lowest that I can recall. My 401k, my 403b, my TSA, my whatever, all of it was positive. And then it hit the dumpster as soon as Joe Biden got into office. So the reason you have to work so many hours, and the reason that despite working so many hours, the money you make can't buy you as much as it used to under the Trump administration, is because you have a garbage Democrat president. Okay? Before you start ripping on GOP primary candidates, why don't you actually look at the problem, the root of the problem that you're facing? It was caused purposefully by Joe Biden. Moving on to the next line. So I can sit out here and waste my life away, which, I'm sorry, that's a pretty secular thing for someone to say that's so well versed in the Bible. Right? I loved your reading of Proverbs 4:20, which I thought was hilarious on the Joe Rogan interview. All right. I loved watching the video where you read an entire Bible passage before your concert in front of hundreds or thousands of people. I thought that was really cool. But that's not a conservative thing. All right. Conservatives don't sit on their butt collecting welfare, which you're later going to complain about also. The next verse, drag back home and drown my troubles away. I mean, have you heard of the beer czar that the Biden administration has recommended that we're only supposed to drink 2 drinks a week? Are you okay with that? Because I don't think so. It looks like you're the kind of person like myself who likes to have a beer a day. And that, if you're doing the math, that's 7 beers. And they want to limit you to 2. And I'm going to assume you're kind of like me. We're not just drinking 1 beer a day, especially when you have to work that hard, especially when life is frustrating that you can't afford the things that you used to be able to afford. The next line, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. Because of Obama, because of Biden, creating a divisive country through BLM, through anti-cop rhetoric. Crimes have gone up, suicide has gone up, drug abuse has gone up. Now Biden wants to legalize pot, which you're probably okay with because you seem like a libertarian like Joe Rogan to me, but that only makes a more despairing population, which will again increase the addiction and increase the suicides and most likely increase crime. All right. All of those things are on the rise. They weren't on the rise under President Trump's administration. They are on the rise now because of this garbage administration that allows crime to thrive and allows criminals into our country, border jumpers who we have no idea who they are, so they can just start beating people up. I saw a video yesterday of just a bunch of illegals beating the crap out of New Yorkers because why not? We don't know who they are. We don't even know that they're here. How are we going to find them? We don't know where they, it's ridiculous. Okay. You're complaining about what Democrats have done to this country. So again, ripping on the GOP primary candidates doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think you know what you're talking about. I think you're trying to play the neutral, position where although your song is absolutely conservative, as I will explain later, you want to still appease the mules on the other side because you think that's going to garnish more popularity for you. And you know what? Have your 15 minutes of fame, okay, if that's all that you're after. But you have to admit the truth. It isn't Republicans ruining this country. All right. And then you go on to say for people like me and people like you. And again, I'm sorry, but you mean working people? You mean conservatives who aren't on welfare? And who do you think is listening to your song when you disrespect conservatives like that, like myself? Who do you think listens to your song? Huh? You're in the country music genre. You're American folklore. You think the people who were listening to Chingy, who are listening to Taylor Swift, who are listening to all these other garbage rappers out there, you think they're switching from rap to your music? How about you stop ripping on American families, which again, because they're families, mother and father in the house, straight, those are conservatives. Maybe you should be a little bit more kind to people like you if you're going to bunch us all up in a group, all right? Because nobody's suffering from welfare along with their job. So they're making money on their own and our tax dollars are going towards them, all right? Conservatives don't do that. And then you say you wish you could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is? Yeah, it is. Because of this administration. You go back 4 years ago, it was not this way. And I think even you can look in the mirror and admit that. Living in a new world. Well, the new world order and globalization, that is a Democrat idea. With an old soul, again, sorry, but that's a conservative thing. Versus the liberal progressives who want to go forward and have new. Old, preserving the old, is conservative. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows all they just want to have total control. Who is the totalitarians in office right now? Biden and the Dems are taking our rights away. Our right to breathe fresh air, our right to not be inoculated, our right to freedom of expression on social media. It's his administration, thanks to the Twitter files, that have proven that his administration has been talking to all the social media, censoring us. And then this whole fact checker thing is new. And it's a democratic apparatus. It is not a conservative thing shutting people up. The reason they're shutting us up on social media is because we're telling the truth. And I think you need to start telling the truth and start recognizing that, I'm sorry, my friend, but you're leaning right. Okay? You're not like one of those garbage socialist, fascist, authoritarian, warmongers. You're more like us, the conservatives who want to breathe fresh air. Not be guinea pigs to a new vaccination, which is only going to enrich those rich men north of Richmond. Want to know what you think? Want to know what you do? Again, that's a liberal idea, making everything private into public. We used to have a private life, we used to have a public life, and it's the Democrats that have ripped away that barrier and have brought everything that once was private into the public, where people will go into the backlogs of all of your social media accounts and bring them all out into the open. The way you feel, the way you think, the way you live, and castigate you for everything that you do in private, because now everything is public. That is a democratic thing. Social media is spying on us. The FBI is illegally listening to its citizens through Amazon and Echo devices and smartwatches and things like that. Right? How else do you think they're going to find out what we think? Huh? And they don't think you know, because the media is covering up everything. And the media, again, is another apparatus for the Democratic Party and this feckless administration. But I know that you do, which again sounds like freedom. Right? The sources that have been giving us freedom, like the Daily Wire, like yours truly, the Pacho Perspective, again, are conservatives. Because your dollar ain't shit because of Biden's economy and it's taxed to no end. The liberal mantra of tax and spend. Inflation, again, is created by the government because of Men North of Richmond. I wish politicians would look out for miners. Well, you know what? Democrats hate fossil fuels. How do you not understand that? Republicans are the ones who support working families. They're the ones who support miners and other fossil fuel the working class that deals with other fossil fuels. It's the Democrats that are shutting you down. It's the Democrats that are closing your minds. It's the Democrats that are making you unemployed. It's not the Republicans. We would keep coal. We need coal. We need fossil fuel. We need oil. And we need families. And not just minors on an island somewhere. I'm sorry, buddy, but that sounds like you're a pedo pervert. What do you have against children being rescued from awful, evil people, using them as sex slaves, most of them children? Huh? Why don't we know the flight log to Jeffrey Epstein's island? Because of the media, which again is a Democratic apparatus, because of the Democrats that are bearing everything. Prince, whatever his name, I don't even remember, but that garbage prince from England, all of a sudden his files are covered up until 2065? 2065? Like, that's not suspicious at all to you? Huh? Prince Andrew? That garbage filth of a human being with the picture of the girl who survived the island and had the courage to come out and tell us all what's happening here? You don't care for those kids? You have no problem with sex trafficking in minors? I mean, I get it. I want to look out for minors too. I want to look out for people like you, but kids are important, man. How are you going to deny that? How are you going to write a line like that? That implies that we shouldn't care about them at all. We should just focus on you. What a narcissist, man. Lord, we got folks in the streets. You think the homeless problem is found in red states, in red cities? Homelessness is a huge problem thanks to blue policies. Look at all the blue major cities. All of them are run down with homelessness. San Francisco, LA, Philadelphia, Detroit, New York City, Boston. Must I go on? Or are you that blind? Or are you just that ignorant? I mean, you could be ignorant. Ignorance isn't stupid. Maybe you don't know. It's either stupid or it's ignorant. It's one or the other. It's nothing else. So maybe you should start looking into some facts. Maybe you should become political if you're going to write songs about politics. Right? Look at San Francisco. They're disgusting. They got poop everywhere. And got nothing to eat. Right? The Dems are the ones who want us to eat bugs and bug milk. They're the ones that want us to murder cows so that they stop farting in the air because of the ozone science. The lines of distribution have been messed up. Our ports, our railroads. Poor Palestine. Nobody's even gone to them. Nobody's even checked on them. He was in the state and he didn't go to that city, to East Palestine, to see the disaster, to help encourage the families. No, because again, he doesn't care about families and workers like you. So you really want to back the blue? You want to back the Democratic policies? I mean, I back the blue. I like the police. I didn't mean to say it in that way, but you know what I mean. The blue states, the blue cities, the blue policies, those are the things that are ruining this country and making things more expensive, giving us less to eat. And the obese milking welfare. Welfare is the Democratic apparatus. Like Candace Owens said, Lyndon Johnson, when he passed the New Deal, said this is the N-word bill. That wasn't a Republican saying it. That was a Democrat. The libs also believe in body positivity, which is only going to make our population fatter, because when you say it's okay to be fat, then people are going to agree and they're just going to start eating their troubles away. Sticks of butter when they get depressed. Right? Being skinny has even been called a white supremacy thing, man. God forbid you be fit. You know, and if you're in the military, you're pretty fit. Are you a white supremacist? You don't look like it. You don't sound like it. I wouldn't say that you are. But those things that you're complaining about, the obese, milking welfare, that's because of Democrats. See, conservatives are all about giving hand-ups, not handouts. Teaching you how to fish, not just giving you a fish in exchange for your vote. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds like Lizzo, I mean, let's just say who you're talking about, Lizzo, right? A supposed vegan who's a couple hamburgers away from either a heart attack, a stroke, or diabetes too. Taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. I agree, man. Every conservative and Republican agrees with you, right? We should be healthier. We should lead better lives. We shouldn't be so gluttonous. We shouldn't drown all of our troubles and frustrations in fudge. I absolutely agree, man. So what are you talking about? That it's funny to you that conservatives feel a connection. Are you that dense, man? And again, I respect you. And I love your song. And I love all your other songs, too. I've listened to them as well. I think you've got a lot of talent, man. But you need to stop talking that foolishness. Stop disrespecting conservatives because it's popular and it's going to get you more attention. Who do you think is going to buy that album when it comes out? Huh? Are they going to put it right next to their rap music? I don't think so. It's going to be people like me. People like you who like country music, who like our country, which is a conservative thing. Democrats think this is the worst place to live, and yet they allow millions to come into our country in the southern border. The illegal border jumpers. And then you finish with young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground. Why do you think men are committing so much suicide, especially white men are committing suicide? Veterans are being displaced by illegal border jumpers, kicked out of hotels to make room for these new Americans, so-called. Because all this damn country does is keep kicking them down, but not the Trump train. Trump promoted officers, all right? He increased pay for the military. So I think you need to humble yourself a little bit, my friend, because the words you're speaking contradict everything that you were singing. And so which is it? Is it your songs that represent what you feel, or is it your interview self, where you're trying to get as popular as you can for as long as you can to make as much money as you can? And then what are you going to do? You're going to look down on us, huh? From the pedo island that you're going to be sitting on where the flight log is going to get disappeared? I don't think a Bible reading man does those kinds of things, but you're really starting to sound like them. All right, when you speak the truth, people will not like you. That has been said even in biblical times. And you need to start speaking the truth, my friend, even if people don't like you. Because that authenticity, all right, that mode of being genuine is more important. Speak the truth, my brother, because in this song, you are speaking the truth. But stop lying to yourself and stop lying to everybody else that you were talking about the GOP and the Republican primary candidates who were up on that stage. No, you're not. You are talking about Joe Biden and all the apparatus that are there to defend him and his garbage piece of crap, crack smoking, crapping on young foreign girls, Hunter Biden, garbage human being. All right, why don't you start calling spades spades and stop lying to yourself? Well, my Pachos Chachos, I hope you've enjoyed that episode. If you do, share it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to join the Pachos Chachos, go to Patreon and help me out, so that I can produce more of these episodes for you. But that's my take on the rich men north of Richmond. Oliver Anthony, I love your music. I hope one day you hear this. I hope that you wake up and you recognize that we do have more in common. It's not funny when a Republican calls you to build a bridge. It is the Republican and the conservative who's going to fight for everything that you've been complaining about. It's Joe Biden that has created all of the things that you were complaining about. Wake up, man. Wake up. And with that, have a wonderful week. God bless. I'll talk to you then.